everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunder here as we continue with the Spanish factions from Raise the Black. Again, wonderful book and wonderful expansion to pick up because it just adds so much more for all factions, not just the pirates. So today, the Franco-Spanish Expeditionary Forces, roughly 1701 to 1713, so not a huge amount of the timeline here, but there's definitely a lot going on here, a lot of interesting options for us. So let's just jump right in as usual. We get 3 force special rules. Just the one. Sorry, it looked like it was more, but it is a hefty one here. So, if any unit in this force is given an extra action with a command point by a commander or character of a different nationality, the commander or character using the command point must take a resolve test. The extra action may only be taken if the test is passed, otherwise it is a wasted point. So it's going to be a little bit rough here in organizing this multinational force, so keep that in mind. And we'll see that here with our unit choices. We have quite a few for the core, so we have a lot of the different types of milicianos. We got the reformados, the indios, the negros, also the soldados reformados, but we also bring in some French forces. So as core units, we have Fusiliers, some really good stuff here. We got the Milice des Caribes, and then the Buccaneers, right? So we do have some pretty top-end units for the core there, but again, they're not the same nationality, so keep that in mind. Our support is also mostly, or somewhat French, right? We have the later flibustiers, we got hostigadores, but then also unaligned artillerymen. But again, just keep that in mind. Basically, when we're using French units, we got to be careful with issuing command points to them. Got to take a test, and that may or may not work. So just something you got to factor into your planning here. That being said, you don't have to run any of the French units at all, but obviously you're missing out on a lot of cool stuff that those units are capable of. Now, moving on, command options. Any standard Spanish commander, any standard French commander, which is interesting, which basically does everything that we just talked about in reverse, right? So if we wanted to run this as a Spanish faction but French list in that sense as far as the commander goes, then hey, we're all good issuing orders to our own troops, but now everybody else becomes a problem to order around too. So it just really depends on which route you want to go. You could also run Pierre Lemoyne de Iberville, so just keep that in mind as well as a named commander. But yeah, that's an interesting choice. We haven't seen that with the game so far as we recall. So fun problem to have. So basically, are you going Spanish or are you going French for your leader? And then you're gonna have to plan around that when you're playing the game, right? So could be an interesting one though, where the opponent's maybe like, hey, I'm playing the Franco-Spanish list, but it's a Spanish list with none of the French stuff. Or well, we're running this list, but it's a French commander, mainly French troops, and none of the Spanish stuff, or very limited amounts of that, right? We could get by with the unaligned as well. So just a lot of neat options there. Nothing else to the list though, right? So we're not getting any special rules. We're not getting any variations. There's no other like cool tricks to really boost it. It's just, it's a multinational force here with a good selection of units. We're not going to deny that. It's just, how do we command them and how do we command them effectively? That's going to be the real trick right there. Now, of course, you could, if you have the points and everything, bring in Pierre Lemoyne, but again, I think we've covered him already, so just keep that in mind as well. But now we're adding a lot more points for the commander in this already somewhat tricky list to get the maximum value of. So, but that being said, could be a fun list to master and really bring something different to the table than what we would see here just in your typical Spanish list, right? Normally it's Spanish and then various flavors of like natives of all sorts, but here we got Spanish, French, French, and some natives all working in concert here, or as much as possible. So fun thing. Let us know if you've tried it. Which way did you go? Have you tried multiple variations of this? Hit us up in the comments, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.